Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you here on Bizz Summit ES this year, 2022. And welcome to my session at Virtual Conversation to Work in Life. This session, it is my first session on the summit, and I'm very glad to be here because it is my first conference in Spain. Mm, I'm living here about 1.5 year already, and I'm glad to join to this community. So, welcome to my session. A little bit about me. I'm Tatiana Pupko. I'm Business Central expert. I has more than 14-year professional experience with Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. Microsoft Nav or Navision. I like to use standard functionality. I'm I'm not developer at all, and I like to suggest people functionality without code or low code functionality. I have Microsoft Valuable Professional status for several years, and also I'm MCT now. Now I'm working as functional consultant in GCC Cloud Computing Company. So, uh, first of all, I like to I want to say thank you to sponsors for this event. It is amazing that we have this opportunity to share our knowledge and communicate with together and share some solutions for Power Platform and some related solutions for other Microsoft products. Thank you very much. And also thanks for organizers to having me here one more time. So what we see in my presentation today. I want to tell about virtual life. Now we are living in virtual world since COVID time. We have everything in net, and now virtual conversations via Teams and virtual conversation with not only with people, also with bot are very popular. First of all, we will talk about what is Power Virtual Agent bot. If you are not familiar with this product, I will describe you what it is. We see live scenarios where we can use bots, how we can start to use bots in our life, how we can connect our bot to our solutions, what kind of channels it is possible to use for bots, and also we check some solutions for Power Virtual Agent, Power Automate, Teams, and Business Central. I really like how we can combine these solutions together. Of course, it is possible to use Power Virtual Agent separately for some reasons, for some purposes, but I like solutions for my main product, Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. What is Power Virtual Agent? Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, it is a product from Power Platform where we have a way to create or build a chatbot with no code or low code graphical interface. For first step, yes, it can be enough, and it is really very easy, and we see how to create it. And if you want to extend your bots, you can use additional tools to build complex solutions. But anyway, to start, start to work with Power Virtual Agent, you can use graphical interface to create a chatbot without any development. Let's talk a little bit about scenarios in daily life, what we have or we can use, where we can use bots to help us. Of course, when we are talking about virtual helper, we are talking about saving our time. And what we need to remember about bots, bots can help us to gather information from users, to receive information from somewhere, and it is possible to arrange a database with information to send this information to users. And of course, we are talking about clever bot because Power Virtual Agent, it is clever bot, and using Power Virtual Agent, we can automate some processes and use some additional tools from Microsoft products to help not only speak with the users and also to make something on background using some triggered phrases or sentences. If we are talking about customer services, we can arrange some requests or support tickets where our bots can help us. Like we can have the usual tickets and our bot can answer for these tickets, or to find this information somewhere to provide it to users. To describe something, of course, yes, frequently asked questions, or some, if you have a database with some knowledge, our bot can gather this information and provide this information for users. Finance department, we can help to our finance people to calculate payroll for users and to gather budget, to approve it, and also receive information about budget without looking additional databases. It is like finance people can ask what is in my budget for now, and what can answer what we have now and correct something if it is necessary. It is like an example. When we are talking about human resources, it is easy to arrange chat with bots for users to answer for personalization questions like user benefits or some payroll information also for specific users, or what company has for some departments, or what we have in plans, or to book time off or absence for users. It is possible to arrange during conversation with bot and also send to approval to another person. For IT department, it is also possible to arrange support services, and we need to keep in mind that it is possible to use bot to make some easy operations like reset my password or to create some requests for equipments and, for example, to create order for equipments. And if we don't need to approve this request. And of course, where usually bots are used for operation and sales and marketing, like to find something, to manage inventory, we can include our bot to help us with some checks or to make some easy operations, like to check delivery times and, for example, to correct orders or to send notification for someone or requests for vendors or notification for our customers for related orders that something will be changed. And we can automate these processes during conversation. And it is nice because in our world now we have a lot of chats and people like to communicate via chats, and it is nice to use it as a tool how we can run process and someone can, like our bot, can help us. Okay, and next, if we're talking our bot, about our bot, it is entity with a specific qualification. Power Virtual Agent Bot for now has one spoken language, also has reactions for specific sentences or specific words. We call it these actions topics, where you can define these sentences and words and identify logic for this trigger. Vocabulary, it is possible to use entities like you have a list of city or specific format for phones or emails, and bot can check this, identify and check these entities during conversation. Uh, of course, our bot is clever entity, and we can use automation and identify logic during what we use during conversation. To be honest, in our world, we can create power apps, for example, to use some simple automation for specific users, for example, to create contacts or to make something. And also we can use or create the same logic, not like separate application in Power Apps. We can use bot, and during conversation we can make and run this logic without additional power ups. Power Virtual Agent has some artificial intelligence capabilities, like suggested topics. We can use checks for overlapping and slot filling, what makes our life easier. Our bot is publicity entity, and we can define some bots channel, and we can create one bot and to use this bot in different channel like Teams, Telegram, Facebooks. We will check channels later. And our bot are social entity, and it is possible to set up relations between several bots. For example, if one bot use one language, we can communicate with another bot with another language, or we can define bots by areas and to transfer a conversation from one bot to another bot. It helps us to divide our databases for specific bots, and it is possible if you use omnichannel to transfer conversation for live agents also with all history from conversation. So how we can start? It is easy to try Power Virtual Agent if you use Microsoft Teams. You can try it, or you can go to Power Virtual Agent and start. You can start there using trial license, for example. You need to go somewhere, or Teams or Power Virtual Agent site, and click button Create Bot using graphical interface. We will check how to do it. Then system creates a predefined topic like greetings and goodbye topics, and you can change it if you need it, or leave it as is. Next, you can add your own topics for specific scenarios for answers, and add additional logic if you need it to connect this bot for databases, like to find answer in database, or to do something in database, or to put something to database, or check somewhere something. Then when settings are ready, you need to publish your bot for channels. You can choose one or several channels for bots, and choose some specific settings for that. And when bots are running, you can monitor using standard functionality. You can monitor bot performance and see where you can improve your bots. For example, some topics has overlappings, and system will show you these topics. So we can continue with our first demo. I show you my screen with Teams. I suggest to start building bots, Power Virtual Agent bot via Teams. There are several possibilities. If we create Power Virtual Agent bot inside Teams, it is completely free. If you have Teams license, it will be free for you, and every users with full Teams license can create Power Virtual Agent bot. There are some restrictions to use some additional logic with additional connectors, but anyway, to start to working with bots, you can try it and use it. What I need to do, I need to find in apps Power Virtual Agent app. Then I have button Start Now. I click button Start Now. System suggests me some teams. where I want to create my bots, and that means my bot will be available for people in this team. For example, I want to choose Contoso team. Then I click continue. And I need to put my bot name. Like you can choose any name what you want. And you see that there are a lot of languages what you can choose. Of course, we have English, and you see Indonesian, Italian, French, and Spanish language, Russian and Turkish. You see a lot of languages like Korean, Thai language. But for one bot, for now, we can use only one language. We are in process now. We have to wait. And you see that now my bot is created. How easy it is. And when I created my bot with English language, system automatically, now it is completed, because now you see that we have not only topics, also entities, analytics, publish and manage mm, items active. You see that we have existing topics like greetings and conversation, goodbye and thank you. And we can check what we have here. We have triggered phrases here. For all these phrases, bot will send us some messages. We can change these messages if we want, and or we can leave it as is. Yes, we have some topics now, and it is only conversational topics like question and answer. And if we have a specific database, for example, I have um, I have a specific link with questions, I can use suggested topics where you can choose web content or PDF or docs or CSV. For example, you have a specific prepared document what you have after your experience with customer, and you can put a link or document here, like I want to add some questions about Business Central. I put link here and click start, and this process takes time. We need to wait a couple of minutes, and system suggests us some topics based on this link. That means I don't need to put everything manually. For example, if I want to create frequently asked questions with my customer, and I have already these questions and answers somewhere, I can import these questions and answers to bot and use it immediately. or to change something and use it. One moment. And or you can create new topics manually. You see, we have new topics here. Suggested topics. You see, I have questions. Is Business Central available in my country? And triggered phrases. Now I want to mm, move this topic to existing topics. You see that we have this topic now. I want to check it. I can change triggered phrases like BC country or only country. Okay. Because I don't want to type it. I don't want to type full phrase, or I expect that user will. Sorry, it is not the same. Chatbots. One moment. It is my bot. I want to edit it. Topics. Triggered phrases. PC country. Okay. Then I can test my bot here or save it. I save it. I want to back, and I put my status for my topic that one moment, that it is on now. Okay, I created additional topic. I created bot system, added some predefined topics, and I added additional topic here. And I want to publish my bot. It is next step. Yes. And I need to choose where my bot will be available. Yes. And I save it. I save it changes, and I want to open my bot. And now we have chat with my new bot. We can start our conversation with bot. And I want to check my topic. You see that now we have answer from my new topic. Okay, let's continue with more interesting information about bots. It was example how we can use bot in Microsoft Teams. And please remember that if you have full license, this Power Virtual Agent is free for you with simple connectors. Also, you can use bots from Power Virtual Agent in Teams and websites. You can use a link for these bots and use it there in Telegrams and some messengers, additional messengers like Facebook, Skype, Slack to answer for emails. And you can use it. If you use full license for Power Virtual Agent, it is not free, and you need to pay $1,000 for 1,000 request. Um, Okay, what is interesting for our bot? If you want to use automation, not only questions and answers, Power Virtual Agent integrated with Power Automate, and that means that we have more than 500 connectors to different applications. And of course, for Business Central, and for a lot of different applications like LinkedIn, Zendesk, YouTube, Power BI, for Google application, and that means you can connect your Power Virtual Agent conversation with different application using Power Automate feature. What kind of scenarios I want to show you today for Business Central? We can connect Power Virtual Agent with Business Central via Power Automate. And of course, we can use this Power Virtual Agent inside Teams during conversation and send some information from Business Central to our Teams conversation. Uh, Please remember, with Power Virtual Agent, we can receive information from somewhere, for example, from Business Central database, to send information to somewhere, get information from user and send information for users, and automate some processes. How we can work with Business Central? If we are talking about connectors and Power Automate, we are talking about triggers and actions. Triggers, it is how we can run some processes in Business Central from Power Automate. And actions, what we can do in Business Central or with Business Central via Power Automate. If we are talking about Power Virtual Agent, that means triggers will be phrases and sentences, and we can use actions, automate actions. But for us, triggers will be phrases and sentences in our conversation. Okay, let's start with next demo. I have topic bot and created bot. This bot is created for sales team. For example, I can say hello to start my conversation. And I can ask information about customer. And my bot asked me, do I want to see best one? Yes. And I received a link for my Business Central. And I can see if I want open invoice, and it is also link for my Business Central. If I click it, I will see my Business Central. If I click no, I don't want to see best customer, I have to start my conversation again. No. And my bot went to Business Central, checked customer details, and provided me information about customers. That means if I don't want to switch between application, for example, I a salesperson and I don't want to switch to Business Central to receive this information, and it is this request I have very often, I can create bot to receive this information for me. It is how we can receive information. Next example, contact. Yes, I want to add new contact to my database. I can create name, family, email, and phone number. You see that bot gathered this information about my new contact, and I can put this contact to my Business Central database. This can be different database, Dataverse, finance and operation database, and in my example, it is Business Central database. And you see that system created contact for me in my Business Central. Okay, it is example how my bot works, and I want to show you what I have in my background, how I have it. I have my bot, and it is a sales BC bot, and I have some specific topics for my bot. For example, I used two topics now, customers and contacts. For my customers, I have some triggered phrases. I used customer, and my bot asked me what I want to see, the best one or not. If I want to see the best one, I have the best one link. If not, I have additional Power Automate process, how to my bot can gather information about customers and send link about top of my customers. Here we have Power Automate process. While I have login to Power Automate, one moment. I want to show you contacts also. For contacts, I gathered information from my bot gathered information from me, from user, and during conversation, my bot also triggered phrases. Then bot gathered information about name, about email, phone number, and then I had this flow here to create contact, and I received a link for this contact. I can also go there to Power Automate and see detail about my process. You see that Power Virtual Agent gathered information about my contact and created a record with this information in Business Central, and then I received a link for my contact. And about customers, I had a process how to receive information about my my list of top 10 customers. Here is also Power Automate feature with information from Power Virtual Agent and some find records about customers and system return values for my Power Virtual Agent. Okay, for today, it is all from my demo. One moment. I want to continue with my presentation. Here you can find some useful resources. Check QR code here. You will find my article with a list of resources where you can find documentation about Power Virtual Agent, how to start, how to use it. And also please notice that there are some events like Power Virtual Agent in a day. And some resources related for these events, how you can start to use Power Virtual Agent. You can find some materials with several lessons. If you do these lessons, you can work with Power Virtual Agent. If you like and want to start to work with Power Virtual Agent, you can join to Power Virtual Agent in day event or to check resources. Depends what you want more, what you like more. I want to say you thank you. If you have some questions or some suggestions about my sessions, please contact me and you can find details about me by QR code. And please check some information and share your reviews and maybe some insights about Power Platform. And please share some and use some networks and contact organizers, Bizz Summit ES. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have questions, I can answer it. Thanks.